Good morning. I'm Shashwat Benur. I'm the Group Vice President at Boston Scientific in our urology business. I'm delighted to be here with you, Professor Véronique Phé, and looking forward to hearing your insights, your journey, particularly as it relates to your incredible progress as a female urologist.
Good morning, Shashwat. Really thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm also delighted to be here with you. I'm a urologist and I work in Paris. So I'm lucky to work in this splendid city, of course, in Sorbonne University. And I'm specialized in functional urology, you know, this kind of field where you deal with incontinence, prolapse, neurourology, neurological patients, disabilities. It means female-male incontinence. So technically speaking, I'm not a urologist who saves patients' life, but I'm a urologist who improves a patient's quality of life by improving their self-esteem, by giving them more autonomy.
And is that what inspired you to get into the field of urology and functional urology?
Well, you know, urology, I was really attracted by this specialty because it's blended with medicine, surgery, innovation, technology. I am somebody who is always seeking for excellence.
High standards and this is evident, right? You've been a trailblazer in your career, and in 2021 you were awarded the Crystal Matula Award.
You know, winning the EAU Crystal Matula Award is like being the Ballon d'Or. And of course it's a recognition of my expertise, but also it's a way to recognize the place of women in our field. And I was also, you know, the first woman appointed as a full professor in France. And it opens the gates. It's the first time in our French history that we've got a female professor of urology.
You broke the glass ceiling.
Yes.
And you are, you know, you've blazed the trail. You've become the first professor at a world-class university, one of the best in the world. But there's only 12% of practicing urologists today that are female, because I would say a surgeon's hands have no gender. So why is it 12%, and how can you dream of getting this to be more equitable?
I think that institutions, professionals, healthcare professionals, but also companies who are really precious collaborators should work hands in hands together to break down barriers. And of course, this academic career is not without obstacles.
Yeah, and what were some of those specific challenges?
I have to establish myself in a field where there is a lack of female role models. And I think that to overcome all these challenges, I was able to do that thanks to my determination. Yes, determination and resilience.
My mother was a professor, she's retired now, she's a professor of genetics. And it was an extremely male-dominated world. She got a PhD at the age of 26 in the 1970s in India. And it wasn't easy for her. And she was my role model. I can relate to some of the barriers that she had, but I'm wondering, one and a change generations later, what are those barriers?
There are stereotypes. Girls have to play with dolls, and men are knights, and women are the princesses. So it's about all these stereotypes. I have the chance that my parents never educated me in this. They never told me, okay, you are a female, so you're not going to do surgery. So no, you are not. There are no jobs for female or no jobs for men, and you can do whatever you want at the end.
Because I'm assuming that means you made progress, but there may have been some regression.
So each time I talk about resilience, I'm always overwhelmed with a lot of emotions because it's, of course, you think about your past, your background. And I was born at the border between Cambodia and Thailand. And it was just at the end of the genocide period of the Khmer Rouge. So and in 1979. So I arrived in France when I was 3 years old. The initial steps of my career, it's something that I didn't talk about because you feel a little bit ashamed, of that.
I can relate to some of that, yes.
Yes, and you just want to be like somebody else and have a standard education, straightforward career, and that's all. But when I really jumped into the world of urology, and then when I wanted really to be an academic full professor, my mentor said to me, when you do that, you have to give sense to your life and think about what drives you to this career. And I started to understand that my backgrounds, where I come from, my roots, what the educations I received from my parents, that's really the things that give me strength to enhance, to improve myself, to seek for excellence. And I think that if you want to go far and to know exactly where you're going, you have to know where you come from.
What are you most proud of?
What I like is to have fellows, trainees, who come and visit me, and we share, of course, practices. And after, I can observe how they improve in their career afterwards, And, sometimes it's also very interesting when you go to the OR in Italy, for example, where I've got plenty of fellows there, and you say, they reproduce my surgical technique, but they do better. It's improving what they learned in our department, and this really makes me proud.
It's a beacon of excellence, but also of hope. But when you think about the representation of females, when they go through the residence journey, what are some of the lessons that you can share as they get into fellowships?
We can be a leader. We can also be a technician.
Yes, yes.
I know that, of course, doctor is not only technician, of course. Doctors are a human being with a lot of empathy, with soft skills. But doctors, urologists and female urologists can also be technicians, roboticians.
So as urologists, male or female, as they go through their experience, they develop the confidence over time?
Yes, it's about experience. It's about what you put in your recipe, from yourself, about your effort, about your colors, about your soul, your heart. And at the end, it would change the outcomes. Starting from the same thing, respecting all the steps, your recipe, but at the end, we will not have the same results depending on our experience.
Now, talk about the field of functional urology, right? Which is a specific and very important part of urology. You treat male patients, you treat female patients. Do you see a difference in the kinds of patients that are comfortable in speaking with you because you are a female urologist, and why?
So I've got female and male patients, and also adolescent patients.
Adolescent patients.
We know that in female physicians, they develop more patient-centered communications. Also, female physicians, they like to be more, they have got a more holistic approach of the pathology and the disease. They considered also of the psychological and psychiatric well-being of the patients. It is not only about the disease, and specifically in functional urology. Once again, you enhance patients' quality of life. And regarding, functional, so all the pelvic floor disorders, of course, it's very sensitive area. And I'm convinced that female patients feel more confident and give more trust to female physicians in this area. There is a stronger relationships between traumatic disorders and functional urology disorders. And we've got, for example, a lot of female patients who suffered from urinary retention, overactive bladder, and sometimes there's no cause, but as a female physician, we ask them if they they experience any traumatic things like psychological, physical, sexual disorders. Yeah. But it's something that as a female physician, you dare to ask to your female patients. I think that female physicians considered, of course, the outcomes, but also balance between advantages, inconvenience, more centered, patient-centered decision.
For every urologist that is coming into practice, there are 10 urologists that are retiring. When you look ahead, what advice do you have for young people? What are some of the factors young people in general should consider when they're saying, okay, here's the specialty that suits me, here's what I want to do?
I think that yes, it's important to build up a structured support to promote young talents. We always invite, medical students to come to the OR, for example, to see how it works and what are these surgeons with this ego and, with all these technical skills. It's a quite specific ambience, atmosphere in the OR, I think that my role now today is to facilitate the careers. So we have to develop leadership, mentorship, to allow our young generations, the next generation, and to facilitate all this. And it's not about urology, it's about the society. What's going to make you change or make up your mind to this is the encounters, when you meet one specific person who's going to change the rest of your life. Of course,
there's a big element of luck too.
Yes, but luck, you have to be prepared.
You have to be prepared when it happens.
to receive this luck,
This is true.
And yes, I was lucky because when I was a medical student and I really did not care about urology at the beginning, but when I went to this OR, and the surgeons, they were doing a cystectomy in a spina bifida patients, a very complex patient. When I met my professor, when I was a medical student, it changed my life.
So there's a huge responsibility on the current generation of leaders.
Yes.
And that's why, relating back to treating patients, treating humans, but then looking at the whole patient or the whole person or the whole medical student.
Exactly.
And I think you've spoken in the past about the importance of, excellence, of course, but collaboration. So can you delve into the theme of collaboration and excellence together in how it has shaped you?
Collaboration and educations are really the key points to enhance our practice and to improve patients' care. And sharing knowledge is really crucial in our job.
But you also said, hey, I had to be ambitious and I had to be daring. So I'd love to explore these two themes a bit.
Ambitious, for me, it's a good ambition.
Good ambition.
Yes, the ambition that makes you surpass yourself to reach your goal, to improve mentorship, leadership, really positive ambition, because sometimes ambition can be badly considered, We have to dream big. And to dare, stepping forward, no barriers, no sacrifice.
I can relate because a lot of women particularly speak about that guilt when they have children to care for and a career that is growing and the balance. But again, when I think of my own upbringing, I couldn't have seen my mother any other way than a successful professional, a professor, and I was so proud. So I think there is a lot of force, force for good in being that role model at home. And the younger generation is therefore debating, should I even have children if I want to pursue a career, or do I need to give up my career if I want to have a family? How have you managed to balance and make one force for good for the other?
It's a very good questions about life balance, but I don't think that it's a choice or an option. I think that we should not accept any sacrifice regarding family life. I am very proud of my kids. And yes, I know that many women feel guilty about leaving their children while pursuing a career. So it's not a choice. And you know, it's not only a woman matter.
So how do you get over that fear of failure?
If you failed, it's not a failure, it's just experience, and it makes you stronger. I could not get everything that I wanted in the past, but that's okay at the end because it makes me stronger. And I felt also, you know, personally, so when I was appointed, when I had the Macular Award, I fell down. And I had a bad shoulder luxation and with thoracic outlet syndrome. So I'm a right-handed person. I think that I was too busy, overwhelmed by work. And so I was completely disabled, handicapped, with a lot of pain, with no possibility to operate anymore. Wow. And well, I went through education, rehabilitation. It was really difficult, very difficult. I was thinking about stopping my career. Wow. And what I suffered from the most is the lack of empathy about some of my colleagues, or because you know it's some disability that cannot be seen. And so after I went through surgery. And a big surgery, I must say, it's very painful. So I have to question myself about the rest of my career, what I wanted to achieve in my life for real, what this bad experience can improve myself. And I must say that I changed a lot of things on the way I behave with my patients. And I changed also my way to work. Yeah. And I give more considerations to human qualities rather than technical skills.
So that's amazing. That's inspiring. And here you are. You're back, stronger than ever. Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for sharing so much in a short period of time.
Thank you, Shashwat. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.